What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Barndo Show. My name is TJ Norris, and I am the co-founder and visionary of the Barndo Co. We've been around for the last 4 years. We've built several hundred barndominiums everywhere across the Southeast, and we want to take a moment and talk about floor plans. Over the years, we've found out that there are some really marquee plans, and if you've been on our website, thebarndoco.com, you've probably seen some of them, and I want to highlight the best of the best, the ones we build the most of, and we're going to do a whole series on these. And today we're talking about the Maple series. All right, so I'm going to give you a background on the Maple series, and that background is going to be very similar to how all these became these stock plans. We work with our design team, and they created a Maple floor plan. They had sketched this thing out, they had all the details of it, and then after building it, we started making modifications and tweaks to it because everyone seemed to love it. And so now if you go on the website, you'll see Maple, Maple 2, Maple 3. You know, I think there's 15 or 20 iterations of a Maple, but they're all based off of this same genuine concept. And so we're going to dive in and walk through this floor plan and give you the full behind the scenes look in the show today. So we're going to dive in and walk through our Maple 2 plan today. And the Maple 2 is funny because it was basically the first reiteration of the plan that we did. And I'll point out some of the key differences, but let's start with the basics, right? The Maple is your true Southern classic barndominium because when you pull up, all you see is end-to-end front porch, this big, welcoming, Southern style barndominium where everyone loves the big wraparound porches. And so with the Maple 2, you get it end to end. And so you walk up on the front porch, you have a giant porch filled with rocking chairs, whatever it is that you want out there. It's a great place to hang out. It's a cool place to sit and drink your coffee in the mornings. And so I think the Maple in and of itself is just a welcoming plan, right? You build the Maple and it just tells people, hey, we're inviting you over. So walk with me through this. So you walk up on the porch and you walk into the big double door entry, and then that takes you straight into the main part of the house. And this is kind of like your population zone. So your living room, you're walking directly into a living room, and it's a spacious place. So it's got plenty of room to do any kind of different formatting with furniture. You know, if you're big family like me, you know, you got plenty of room there to put your big sectional sofa. You got tons of room to do so many different things inside of the Maple. And I think that's one of the leading indicators of why it's so successful. It's warm, it's welcoming, it's inviting, and it's so spacious that you can customize it in terms of furniture in so many different ways. So when you walk in, the first thing you're going to notice is the Barndo Co. wow factor. You're going to have these giant vaulted cathedral ceilings. You're 20-something feet from the floor to the peak, and you're going to see the big Barndo Co. exposed trusses, which is kind of the conversation piece of our houses. We always joke and say, hey, when you build a house, you're always looking for that one conversation piece that you can put in the living room, and everybody asks you about it, and everybody talks about it. Well, the cool thing is when you build with the Barndo Co., your home is that conversation piece. So when you walk in there, there's tons of different options you can do in that living room, from just, no fireplace to as big one as you want to put. You have tons of space and tons of head height. You could run a big rock chimney all the way up. You could just do a small fireplace. You can have an electric one, mounted in. So if you're wanting to go more modern chic, or if you want to go true rustic Barndo Southern charm, it gives you a blank canvas to let your dream unfold. Now, the great thing about it is as you continue through there, you have this giant dining area just before you get to the rear double door to take you out onto the rear porch, which in this case is just as big and just as great as that big, inviting front porch. But you can't get there without looking at the kitchen. And the kitchen is the wow factor for everybody that comes into a Maple. You have a giant island with tons of opportunity to put bar seating there. It's a great place to just hang out, entertain guests, or if you like me and you got a house full of kiddos, it's a great place for them to land while you're filling up cereal bowls and making your morning coffee and everything like that. And you've got this incredible island with the sink there, your dishwasher's in the island, and directly behind you is the focal piece with your stove and backsplash and all of the cabinets in this kitchen. And then what you'll notice about the Maple is the cabinet space is never ending. You have so much storage on the front and back side of the island. You have all the lowers. You have an entire back wall of lowers and an additional workspace. It's a great place to set up, on your Sunday dinners. You can put a spread out there. You can entertain. You can host parties. There's so much room in the Maple kitchen that the kitchen itself, I think, is probably the biggest statement as to why the Maple has had so much success. And then tucked away in the corner is a giant walk-in pantry with tons of additional storage. Again, it's just my wife was like, "You took a dream kitchen and put it inside of the dream Barndo. There's no wonder you guys sell so many Maples." So that is the first piece of the Maple is you walk in and you have this giant space to hang out with family, run your life. It is the central station, or you have a great space to entertain guests, throw that birthday party, have that big Sunday dinner at your house, have a barbecue. People can come in and out. You got people hanging out on that big front porch. There's some people hanging out in the back on the big back porch. And then you have this giant space in between, tons of places for conversation, tons of places to sit and play those card games as a family. It is a great use of space. And it just gives you that big open feeling with the giant ceilings. And again, everyone that walks in is going to immediately ask you a million questions about your Barndo, because it is just a showcase of what's possible with the Barndo Co. Now, let's dive out of the living room, and we'll start on the guest wing of the house, which is a 2-bedroom with a shared bathroom that is also kind of your guest bath. If you need it, if you have a large, crowd over, it's accessible from the living room. So you go over when you walk in the front door to the left, and you're in your, kind of your guest wing or your kids wing, depending on what your circumstances are. But there you'll find some spacious bedrooms with tons of closet space and, a great functioning bathroom. And the cool thing about the bathroom is like you don't, maybe you've been in a guest bathroom where you have to like go out of the bathroom to find where the towels are stored, because they're in the hallway closet or something. In the Maple guest bathroom, you have the ability to put in a giant linen closet right inside the bathroom. So it just gives it the ability to feel more like a planned place for people to have a functioning bathroom and not just a spare one, and then that's the one that your kids use. So that side is kind of self-explanatory, right? Couple bedrooms. One could be converted to an office. If you're working from home and you want to utilize that space as an office, then we can rearrange the way the doors work there, and you then have a functioning office / library / playroom, game room, whatever it is you're looking for. So it's very easy to accommodate those small changes depending on what your use of the space is going to be. Then we're going to go over to the moneymaker side, which is your master primary suite side of the house. And this side of the house holds all the bells and whistles that makes people fall even more in love with the Maple series. So when you walk into this primary bedroom, you're going to find that it is massive. It is a massive space. You could absolutely put your bed in there. You could have a whole setup with a TV, your own sofa in there. You could utilize it for nursery space. It is a massive place to, kind of have your own little retreat in your bedroom and have tons and tons of space there. And then that takes you into the master bath, which is awesome. Here's where the Maple 2 became the Maple 2. We were building this for a family, and the husband was like, "I want a giant shower." And when he got done working with the design team, we were like, he really meant he wanted a giant shower. So you have a dual entry shower with multiple shower head options. The first time we built this, I think in total, was like 6 or 7 shower heads. You can actually go back and watch the episode with the Hanks family, which are the people who helped us create the Maple 2. And it was the first Maple 2 that we built, and you can see that shower and hear him tell about why he wanted it.
Shower, my baby.
We can't get away. He's like, we'll just go, you guys got to post a picture of the shower. Every time we say shower, just throw it back up there.
Yeah.
And then directly in front of that shower is a big garden tub, which is kind of the focal point of that master bath. You also have his and hers vanities. You have your separate water closet. And then you have Mama's favorite place, the walk-in closet, which is as big as your guest bedrooms. So you have tons of options in there. You can do custom build-outs. You could put so many different things in there. And that space is so versatile that there's, I don't know that we've ever built one where the closet looked the same. So you have the ability to just run, shelving and hanging space in there, or you can go crazy and build it out as custom as you would like, and you have tons and tons of room. In the back side of that master closet, you also have a separate space that can be utilized as a additional storage, a linen closet. Some people have put safe doors there to have storage for other things that they may want in their home. But it gives you the option to have that and have that separate space where you can get creative with whatever you may want to keep safe there. You have tons and tons of options. Now, we're going to escape out of this little oasis retreat for the primary suite and go back through the dining room and into the butler's pantry. Now, I already told you that there's a giant pantry in the kitchen of the Maple already. But then you also have this incredible butler's pantry. And in that pantry, it's completely open space, so it can be a good landing zone. It could be a good place, for you to keep those necessities. Again, if you're like me, you got tons of kiddos or you got them playing sports, it's a cool place to let all those things land. It's a completely versatile space again. Here's what we know. You can never have too much space for storage. You need a place to put your deep freezer, boom, you put it in the butler's pantry. You want to build it out and go floor to ceiling with some cabinets there, boom, you got the space. You need a little place to do, a desk and a work area, utilize the butler pantry. It's just a great spot for that little additional space that is often forgotten in building new construction. And then that flows you into an oversized broom closet, a place to store the vacuums, whatever it is that you need, maybe, coats, shoes, whatever your case may be. You just have functionality there. There is no shortage of storage and additional space, and it keeps it out of the main area of your home, right? It's so nice. You got friends coming over, and you just shut that door to the butler's pantry, and everything looks wonderful in the main area of the home. But if you follow that around, you walk into the laundry room, and the laundry room is massive. So you have plenty of room there for your washer and dryer, but you also have the ability to customize and build out all kinds of additional storage, put in a folding station, put in an ironing station, whatever it is that you need, you have complete control and tons of space in this laundry room to make it however you want. And then on the opposite wall of that laundry room, you find yourself with another landing zone that you can do whatever you want. You want to build in some custom lockers. You want to put in a countertop. You want to put in another work area or some desks. There's tons of space there for you to customize that however you'd like. The Maple is not only big and beautiful and welcoming, it is designed for you to be able to live in it and it be functional and take into account for all those things that you find yourself moving in a home and going, well, where do I put this? The Maple has space for it. Now, the other thing about the Maple 2 was we also did this breezeway connector to a huge garage. So the garage is optional on all of the Maple series. The breezeway is optional. It can be closed. It can be open. It can be whatever you want it to be. You want it to be heated and conditioned space? We'll make it that way. You want it to have a nice covered area so you don't get wet when you're coming in from the garage? We can make it that way. You don't want a garage at all? Not a problem. We give you the ability to customize and be flexible with all of our stock offerings. and the Maple 2 is no exception. But what you will find when you get to this Maple 2 garage is it is a monstrosity. 1,200 square feet of garage space. You can use it as a 2-car with a workshop. You could have 3 or 4 cars in there. It is a massive space. It gives you that Barndo feel without it feeling like you're living inside of the shop, right? I know a lot of times, the husband, he's excited about the Barndo lifestyle because he's going to build him a shop. And if there's enough money left over, he'll build him an apartment in the corner. But this gives you the best of both worlds, and it gives you some segregation of that space so that you truly have a separate garage workshop area. And then an additional feature there is you have complete flexibility to add attic space there. You can do, finished room over garage. You could put in additional bedrooms. There's tons of opportunity to finish out the area above that garage and add additional heated square footage, put in mother-in-law suites. It gives you tons and tons and tons of flexibility. So overall, I would say the Maple is the #1 seller because it checks all the boxes. And the cool thing is you have flexibility within the budget as well, because as with any Barndo Co offering, garage is an option. Porches are an option. So maybe you need the space and you don't want to spend the money for all of that porch on the front end. You have the ability to get in that home, remove the things that may be excessive, or add on some features that we don't even show. That's what makes the Maple special. It is a place where dreams come true, and this is your chance to reclaim the American dream and build a Maple on your property. And if you want to do that, head on over to thebarndoco.com. Click the Contact Us button, fill out the form, let us know you're ready to build a Maple, and someone will reach out to you and give you the specifics of building that in your area, wherever you live. And we will coordinate to come out to you and figure out land prep, the development costs, any additional pieces there to get you into this home on time and inside of your budget. So if you like the Maple plan and you want to do a deeper dive, or you want to hear the story of where the Maple 2 came from, you can head on over here and check out the interview that I did with the Hanks family, where this plan really got brought to life. And you'll get to hear the stories about the garage space and why it was important, and the finished room above, as well as the big monster shower that was a necessity and became a staple in our Maple 2 plan.